Number 6 says the total body surface area, or BSA, of a human is difficult to calculate. There are various models that estimate body surface area based on a person's weight and height. One simpler model is BSA equals the square root of WH divided by 3600, where W is the weight in kilograms and H is the height in centimeters. All right. A says using this model, estimate the height of a person who weighs 76 kilograms and whose BSA is 1.7. All right, so the formula says BSA is equal to the square root of WH over 3600. Now, they told me that the BSA was 1.7, so that number, gonna go right there, equals the square root of, and then it said they weigh 76 kilograms, so that's W, and that is the right unit, right? The weight in kilograms. All right, cool, cool. So 76 goes there, and then I have H is what I'm looking for over 3600. Now, when you have the square root of a fraction like that, you can actually break it up and say, I want to take the square root of the numerator over the square root of the denominator. And the reason I did that is because I can actually take the square root of 3600. The answer would be 60. So I'm still going to have the square root of 76h, but now it's all over 60 because I took the square root. I could take the square root of that. That's just 60. Now, you're trying to solve for h, and h is trapped underneath that radical. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of that fraction. So I'm going to take both sides of the equation and multiply times 60. Because this 60 is like 60 over 1. And then I can cross cancel 60 into 60. All right. And then on the left, 60 times 1.7 actually gives me 102. And then you're just going to be left with the square root of 76h. Okay, follow me. Ran out of room here. All right. So I've got 102 is equal to the square root of 76 times h, and right here I want to get rid of that square root sign. So to undo a square root, you'll do the opposite, which is squaring. And then what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So I got to square the 102 also. I'll grab my handy dandy calculator over here. 102 raised to the second power is a big old number. That's going to give me 10404 equals, and then the square is going to cancel out the square root. So I'm just going to be left with the 76h. And that's a 0, sorry. I look like a 6. This was 10404. And now all I have to do is divide off the 76. So that cancels, and I will have h. And grabbing my calculator, take that big number divided by 76. Ugh, let's see. Oh, round your answer to the nearest centimeter. The nearest centimeter. I'm getting 136.8 blah 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 blah. The nearest centimeter would be the 6, and since that's an 8, it's going to go up to 137. All right. Now that's just part A. Now I'm going to move on to part B. Using this model, estimate the weight of a person who is 164 centimeters tall and whose body mass BSA is 2. I'm doing the exact same thing, except this time I'm going to plug a number into H, and why does that keep showing up? And solve for W. So I think I'll start over here this time. You got BSA is equal to the square root of WH over 3,600. We were told that the BSA is 2, so that's going to go right here, 2. And then we were told that we're looking for W, so W stays in there, and who's 164 centimeters. Height is in centimeters, so this is the correct answer, or the correct number. So it's W times 130, whoops, I meant to use blue, sorry, 164. There we go. All right, so same thing as before. I can take the square root of the denominator, and that's going to be a 60 down here, and then my numerator will be 164W. That looks more algebraically pleasing to the eye. And then I'm going to multiply both sides by 60 so that the 60 on the right side cancels out, and that gives me 120 equals the square root of 164W. And now I'm going to square both sides so that the square and the square root cancel each other out. So that'll leave me with 164W. And then I'm going to grab my calculator, take 120 and square it, and I get 14,400. And so my last step is divide by 164. Me and my calculator again, having a good time tonight. And I get 87.80, and it says round to the nearest kilogram. The 7 is the nearest whole number. Because that's an 8, this would go up to 88. So my answer over here is 88. And that is number 6.